I thought the beef was over between Stephen A. Smith and T.O., but it wasn't. In my last video about the subject, I was like, I'm not going to cover this story no more because I thought that the fact that Terrell Owens did not have his own platform to go out there and speak in length about how I really felt, that this situation just wasn't interesting anymore. But Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, being the hustlers that they are and the great business thinkers that they are, they saw the situation and they probably hit up T.O. like, yo, we're going to do all the smoke. So we're going to provide you a platform to go out there and provide your perspective about the Stephen A. Smith situation, right? So T.O. was on All the Smoke today and he responded to Stephen A. Smith. So take a listen to what he had to say and then we're going to come back and react. But before we play the clip, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
I think everybody realized Stephen A. was cool with a lot of things back in the day.
Okay.
But as time has surpassed,
Okay.
a lot of people have a different opinion about who Stephen was then and who he is now.
Okay.
I'm one of those people. Knows me. I didn't just go blow my money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, do I have the millions that I had back then? Absolutely not. But for him to go on TV and insinuate certain these things that I did X, Y, Z, and I'm desperate, that's not cool, bro.
That ain't nobody's business.
I'm not gonna let that slide. So you share that with everybody to give them some context as to what he's saying is not accurate. It's not totally true. For him to try to build me up and then bash me and attack my character, that's not gonna fly with me. I want the same platform, like I said, to sit down and really share my story and let everybody know, like, yo, he's not who we think he is. And Stephen A., he's walking around like just because ESPN has padded his pockets with some millions, he's walking around like he's us, like he's an athlete, like he got that kind of cachet. And then, like I said, mentioning guys that obviously I think highly of, talking about Dion and Shannon and these guys I come across with, on a regular. You know what I mean? That's not cool to be name dropping. You know what I mean? Because now I'm around these guys and I'm like, okay, well, how do they really feel about me? You know what I mean? How do they think about me? You know what I mean? So that's where I am with it. You know what I mean? So as he said in this podcast, we don't ever have to speak again.
Okay.
Never, ever. But make no mistake about it. I don't try to be no badass, no nothing, bro. Anybody know me, I'm easygoing, I'm cool. I've kept my nose clean because I was raised the right way, bro.
Right.
But you're not finna sit up here and try to bash me or attack my character in front of millions and sit on ESPN with your compadres or what have you and act like you bad and you this and that and the other. That's not gonna fly with me. But like I told him, keep that same energy. And I'm like I said, I'm not condoning no violence, but you're not finna disrespect me.
All right, so y'all heard the response, and that was spot on in my opinion. You pretty much echoed a lot of things that Stephen A. Smith did wrong, and I agree with all of the stuff that he said. First of all, the main point that he made is that Stephen A. Smith from back in the days compared to today is not the same guy, and I felt that 100%. I remember when I started watching First Take, Stephen A. Smith was still on there with Skip Bayless, and I used to love Stephen A. Smith. Like, the way I feel about Shannon Sharp today, him being friendly, everything funny, entertaining, still has good analysis for the most part, that was Stephen A. Smith at first. When he was out there with no drama, just covering sports, he was still loud, still extra, but still, he was all for entertainment, and he felt like he had the people's back. I used to love the guy, but the more popular he got, the more he leads with his ego, and now he ends up in messy situations one after the other, and he feels like it's never his fault in his mind, although he's out there starting stuff. Or when he gets called out on it, then he goes super low, just like he did with T.O. T.O. went out there, called Stephen A. Smith for his wild takes about Colin Kaepernick, compared him to Max. That wasn't cool in my opinion, but still, we know what he meant. And then, 7 years later, here's Stephen A. Smith taking to his own podcast, and he goes out there and it's like T.O. is broke pretty much. He opens up the podcast showing T.O. crying. Then he names drop all of the football world, pretty much insinuating that the whole football world is against T.O., that Stephen A. Smith is right, that T.O. is just messy out there, although we have no facts. That's actually the truth. We have no facts that the guys such as Dion or Shannon actually feel bad or any resentment towards T.O., but still Stephen A. Smith went out there with those fouls, faking like he had something, like all of the messy stuff. So I'm glad that T.O. got the opportunity to actually address some of that stuff. and just stand his ground, saying that as a man, I'm not going to let myself get disrespected. I'm not going to let you, you wanted to talk about my game, like I play good, bad, that's cool. But the man, you're not going to disrespect me like that. You're not just going to paint my character like that on TV, especially you being Stephen A. Smith. I'm not playing no more if I'm looking, I don't know, for business gigs or whatsoever, for you to call me trifling, to call me wrong, to say that I'm backstabbing all of the people that have tried to help me along the way. You're fucking up the money. That's what you're doing, Stephen A. Smith. And, all of that pro-black stuff and everything, I'm for the brothers. I'm all for, if it's an athlete and he plays bad, just say it. But when you go out there and you try and discredit the man's character as a whole, it's messed up. Now, I will say this before I get out of here. Stephen A. Smith felt just the same way when T.O. went out there and he called Max a white man blacker than him on TV. This is how Stephen A. Smith took it. I can't be mad at that. I just expect Stephen A. Smith, being the older guy, to, especially 7 years after, to just take the high road and be like, you don't have to make peace or love, T.O., because I wouldn't be mad about that situation, but you don't have to double down on the ignorance and lie, especially kick the man down where it hurts with the stuff about him being broke, knowing that his lawyers played him, everything, or even mentioning his friends on TV like he did his own friends wrong. That's messed up. Now, before we get out of here, how I would like this to end? They started it in public, so I would like for this to end in public. I don't want them to fight. That's ridiculous. And we all know T.O. would whoop on Stephen A. Smith in the boxing range. We also how an athletic Stephen A. Smith was when he went out there and threw the first pitch like 2 days ago. We don't want that. I would like for them to just sit down and hash stuff out. Just talk about it. They don't even have to agree, but have that conversation. Pretty much oppose the perspective in public on Stephen A.'s platform. Stephen A. Smith is all for content anyways, for ratings anyways. So do that. Have that interview, 20 minutes. Here's what I feel. Here's how I feel. Ain't no love, but it is what it is, and we move on. This is what I would like to see. This is probably not going to happen because when Matt Barnes tried to ask T.O. how he felt about Stephen A. Smith and if it was potentially some light at the end of the tunnel, and he said, hell no. And then at the end of the interview, he mentioned his hood. He was like, yeah, keep that same energy. Then he mentioned his hood. If it's one thing I know about people, man, is once they start mentioning where they're from, yeah, it's ugly. So it's not going to happen. But anyways, this is what I would like to see for it to end. I don't think Stephen A. Smith responds to this. Maybe he will, but I don't think he will say anything that really matters. At this point, it feels like everything has been said already, and that other than the dialogue, it's time to put the story to bed, in my opinion. But anyways, here are my thoughts. Please get in the comment section. Give me your thoughts. Whose side are you on? T.O., Stephen A. Did you feel that T.O. made some better points now that he had the platform on all the smoke? And we're going to close the video right here. Appreciate you guys for checking me out. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.